Badu. You know, that she's a homie too, but I told her she can't get nowhere near me with that nowhere. That shit she be doing is crazy.
It is what it is. It doesn't belong to us anymore. And, you know, once something goes out in the world, it takes a life of its own. It's an energy of its own.
How do you describe it?
What, my power?
Yeah.
I think it's indescribable. And the bedroom, that's not where you're gonna find it, because my magic doesn't lie between my thighs, it lies between my ears.
Erykah Badu was not who we thought she was. She built a reputation as a soulful, free-spirited icon. But behind the incense and head wraps, there's a much darker story. What is it about Badu that makes powerful men lose themselves?
Be regular up until they up. Then you start wearing turbans,
colorful
yarmulkes.
socks.
And what about the moment she called Hitler a wonderful painter? Was she misunderstood or revealing something deeper about how she thinks?
I was honest, and that is what I've continued to carry with me, being honest, you know, in any kind of way.
From violent rumors to feuds with Beyoncé and Jill Scott, from praising Bill Cosby to performing for dictators. How did Erykah Badu go from beloved artist to one of the most controversial figures in music? Let's get into it. In 2023, Erykah joined Tamron Hall on Hall's daytime TV show, where she gave Hall and viewers insight into the urban legend surrounding Badu's unforgettable presence. What adds even more to the Badu legend is that the singer almost immediately sold out of the incense she released back in 2020, which was allegedly made in the scent of her lady parts.
My new fragrance, Badu or Badu Pussy, had sold out.
What?
You know, and I figured, like, you know, the world deserves that.
However, while speaking to Hall, the singer made it clear that her superpower has nothing to do with intimacy. She stated,
I think it's indescribable. And the bedroom, that's not where you're gonna find it, because my magic doesn't lie between my thighs, it lies between my ears.
Badu's confident response received endless applause from the audience, who seemed rather enchanted by the 51-year-old's presence. It can be inferred that Badu wasn't lying about her magical presence, because every answer she gave Hall resulted in an overwhelming amount of praise from the crowd. Many fans were fascinated by the way Badu carried herself throughout the interview, noting that they understand why she says people are naturally intrigued by her. I love me some Erykah. Her energy and the way she carries herself is unmatched and inspiring. This woman is so amazing. It's beyond words. Erykah just exudes love and light. Her passion for people is amazing as well. Such a gifted and talented soul. Blessing to you, Miss Badu. I see why André, Common, J. Elec, and Doc were all mesmerized by her LOL. Meanwhile, Cameron also spoke on Erykah's effect on men. He was surprisingly critical of Badu's ability to lure in multiple men on one of the episodes of his It Is What It Is podcast with Mace. In one of the episodes, they spoke about who's more attractive between Lori Harvey and Amber Rose when Badu's name came up. She's a homie too, but I told Ins. She can't get nowhere near me with that pee, Killa Cam declared to his co-hosts after disrespectfully referring to Badu as Andre 3000's baby mom. That ish she be doing to Ends is wild. Ends be regular up until they F her. Then you start wearing turbans, yarmulkes, the tie-dye shirts. No, you gotta chill. The New Yorker concluded, seemingly poking fun at Common's style evolution. Now, looking at Badu's dating history, it's not a hard notion to believe. Since the 90s, the 4-time Grammy-winning artist has publicly dated several industry greats. For starters, Erykah Badu and Andre 3000 had one of the most famous love affairs in 90s hip-hop. Badu, in a 2020 interview for Rolling Stone, revisited her bond with the Outkast rapper and talked to Summer Walker about their relationship, then and now. He just left Dallas, actually, Badu said when Walker asked about 3000. He came down for my grandma's memorial. He's one of my best friends on the planet. When we became boyfriend and girlfriend in the 90s, we didn't become friends first. We were attracted to each other first. Badu and Dre dated for about 5 years, and they share a son, 7.
But he's a huge fan of his father.
Wow.
And he's a huge fan of us personally. You know, I'm not just mom, I'm Erykah. You know, he's not just daddy, he's André.
She revealed that she still has strong feelings for her ex-beau, even though now they're friends. I care for him so very much about his livelihood, his art, his feelings, and I'm a super big fan of him. I'm assuming he's also a fan of my music. We're really close. We laugh all the time, talk about things. It's brother and sister, it's grandmother and grandson, it's father and daughter. It's so many different things depending on what the situation calls for. He's one of the most caring people that I know. Our son 7 adopted this same energy from him. They both have this look on their face as if they're saying, I hope it works for you, no matter what it is. They're non-judgmental people. We respect each other's art. We're snobs when it comes to art and literature, but I never hear him putting people down at all. He gives everything the benefit of the doubt and consideration. He wants it to work out for people. When they met, André was in the process of finding his true self, and with the help of Erykah, he made a smooth transition into the man he is today. Based on reports, Erykah was actually the reason why he ditched his jerseys and baggy jeans and found peace and more eclectic fashion choices. He also stated that it was because of Erykah that he started experimenting with his musical sound. However, after they broke up, it's like André's career just went down the drain.
What's your process like making music these days? Do you make much? Not so much? How would you say?
I haven't been making much music, man. My focus is not there. My confidence is not there.
Following this, Erykah linked up with Common. Common and the singer-songwriter dated from 2000 to 2002. Their relationship featured a lot of collaboration, as the pair worked alongside each other on the Brown Sugar film soundtrack. The pair worked together on the soundtrack's lead single, Love of My Life, an ode to hip-hop, and on the song, Jimmy Was a Rock Star, which was featured on his album, Electric Circus. In 2019, Common opened up about the heartbreak he felt after his split with Badu, whom he called his first love. Some of the hardest work I've done on myself has been after breakups, he said. With Erykah Badu, that was my first love where you're just open and floating. He says of the singer he reportedly dated for 2 years prior to their split in 2002. When we split, I was 27 or 28. I was in a haze just going through the motions. It was hard to eat. He said, it wasn't her fault, the relationship just didn't go forward. Despite that heartache, he says a subsequent breakup was nearly just as demoralizing. I was in another breakup after that was heavy, he added without specifying which relationship. That one honestly is what sent me to therapy. Following this, in what was probably his most private relationship to date, the love is done. Rapper and the Oscar-nominated actress dated in 2005. While they kept things out of the spotlight, the actress was the leading lady in his music video for Testify. Years after their split, the pair had nothing but good things to say about each other. During an interview with Sway in the Morning, Common responded to a clip of Henson calling him a good guy. She's a good woman, he said, echoing her sentiments. After Common, Erykah Badu had a brief fling with rapper The D.O.C in 2003, and that tryst resulted in Erykah's daughter, Puma. In the years since, Erykah has had no interest in getting back together with The D.O.C. They have shared parental responsibilities for their child, but that is the extent of their relationship. Tracy Lynn Curry, better known as The D.O.C., quickly rose to fame in the late 80s as a foundational member of the influential hip-hop group NWA. Throughout his career, he penned some of the genre's most iconic hits and worked closely with the legendary Dr. Dre on several albums. In addition to his romantic dalliance with Badu, the D.O.C. also garnered attention for his relationships with other high-profile women, including singer Michelle. After this, Erykah Badu got into a relationship with Electronica from 2004 until 2009. At the time, Jay was still an underground artist, known for his mysterious persona and intricate lyricism. He didn't have a major label deal, but he was already building a cult following. Badu, on the other hand, was an established icon in neo-soul, a woman whose influence stretched beyond music into fashion, culture, and even the way people spoke about spirituality. Their relationship wasn't just another celebrity romance. It felt like a merging of two deeply creative, deeply unconventional minds. They kept their relationship relatively private, but fans could sense how much Jay was under Badu's influence. Like many of her past partners, he seemed to undergo a transformation while they were together. He moved differently, spoke differently, and his music took on an even more mystical, abstract quality. People started to joke that Badu had some kind of spell over the men she dated, changing their energy completely. By the time they welcomed their daughter, Mars Merkaba, in 2009, it seemed like they were building something serious. But just as quickly as their relationship started, it was over. For years, there wasn't much talk about why they split. Badu had always been careful about what she revealed to the public, and Jay Electronica wasn't the type to give interviews about his personal life. But then, in 2020, he made a statement that changed everything. Out of nowhere, he claimed that Badu had stabbed him with a knife during an argument. He didn't give any details, no explanation of what led to it, how serious the injury was, or even when exactly it happened. But the claim itself was enough to make people start asking questions. At first, many fans brushed it off as a joke. Jay Electronica has a cryptic way of speaking, and some assumed he was just exaggerating. Others thought it might have been a playful situation that he was blowing out of proportion. But then there were those who took it seriously, pointing out that if the roles were reversed, if a male artist had casually admitted to stabbing his famous girlfriend, the conversation would have been very different. Some fans began questioning whether Badu had a history of being aggressive in relationships, and if this was just the first time someone spoke about it publicly. One of the biggest reasons the situation didn't turn into a scandal was that Jay himself didn't seem interested in making it one. He mentioned it and moved on, as if it wasn't something he wanted to unpack. This led to even more speculation. Was he trying to protect her? The two have a child together. In any case, Erykah Badu has always had a reputation for being outspoken and unfiltered. And while that has made her a beloved figure in music, it has also led to several feuds over the years. Some of these conflicts have been subtle, with quiet jabs on social media, while others have been more direct, creating tension that fans couldn't ignore. One of the most talked about rumored feuds is between Badu and Beyoncé. This isn't a situation where the two women have publicly insulted each other, but there have been moments where people couldn't help but notice the tension. It started years ago when Beyoncé released the music video for Check On It.
Ooh, boy, you looking like you like what you see. Won't you come over and check up on it? I'ma let you walk up on it.
Fans pointed out that her styling, particularly the hat, looked strikingly similar to Badu's signature aesthetic. At the time, Badu didn't say much publicly, but the whispers of Beyoncé copying her style never completely disappeared. Fast forward to 2024, and those whispers turned into something much louder. When Beyoncé revealed the cover art for her recent album, Badu took to social media and posted a side-by-side comparison of Beyoncé's look with her own past outfits. The caption wasn't direct, but it was clear enough. Badu was suggesting that Beyoncé had once again borrowed from her style. Fans immediately took sides. Some defended Beyoncé, saying that fashion is always evolving and that Badu didn't invent wide-brim hats or layered clothing. Others felt that Badu had a point and that Beyoncé had a history of being inspired by other artists without acknowledging them. While the Beyoncé situation got the most attention, it wasn't the only time Badu had been linked to an industry feud. Another well-known tension was between her and fellow neo-soul artist Jill Scott. The two women were often compared to each other in the early 2000s, and with that came rumors that there was an underlying competition between them. At the time, Scott had just emerged onto the scene. and many people felt that her deep, poetic approach to music was similar to what Badu had already been doing. Whether or not they personally had issues, the industry seemed determined to pit them against each other. For years, there was speculation about whether they really got along. Some fans noticed that they weren't often seen together, despite moving in the same circles. But then, in 2020, they put all those rumors to rest when they did a versus battle together, showing love and appreciation for each other's music. They laughed, reminisced, and proved that whatever tension might have existed in the past was no longer an issue. Another controversial moment came in 2018 when she gave an interview that left people completely shocked. Writer David Marchese asked her about some research he had dug up in which the Israeli press linked Badu to Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan and his alleged anti-Semitism. I don't know if those reports were accurate, but isn't it valid to criticize the hurtful idea in an instance like that? Marchese asked the singer, even if you respect the person who holds that idea. Badu said she had traveled to Palestine during a time when the working title of one of her albums was Savior's Day, which is both her birthday and a Nation of Islam holiday. So I'd gone to Palestine, and journalists asked me, "Do you believe in Louis Farrakhan? Do you follow him?" "Sure I do," she said. "I'll follow anyone who has positive aspects. He single-handedly changed half of the Nation of Islam to clean eating, clean living, caring for their families." That led to her saying she sees good in everybody. She then added that Hitler was a wonderful painter. The reaction was instant and brutal. People accused her of being tone-deaf, offensive, and completely out of line. After all, praising Hitler, even in a vague way, is something that will always draw outrage. The backlash came hard and fast. People took to social media to drag her, saying that it was disrespectful and deeply ignorant to make any kind of positive remark about Hitler, given the horrors he was responsible for. Badu later tried to explain herself, saying she wasn't trying to defend his actions, just that she believes in seeing the humanity in everyone. But at that point, the damage was done. Many people who had once admired her now felt uneasy about supporting her. As if that wasn't enough controversy for one interview, she also managed to stir up more outrage by bringing up Bill Cosby. At the time, Cosby was facing a wave of sexual misconduct allegations, and most people had already condemned him. But Badu? She hesitated. Instead of outright denouncing him, she said she still had love for him and appreciated what he had done for the world. This statement immediately rubbed people the wrong way. To them, it sounded like she was defending a man who had been accused of terrible crimes. Once again, the backlash was fierce. People questioned why she would even bring up love and appreciation in a conversation about a man accused of harming so many women. Some saw it as yet another example of Badu refusing to hold powerful men accountable, while others thought she was just being provocative for the sake of it. Either way, her reputation took another hit. But these weren't the only times Badu found herself at the center of a storm. Back in 2010, she released the now infamous music video for Window Seat. In the video, she walked through Dealey Plaza in Dallas, the very site where President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. As the video progressed, she stripped off her clothes until she was completely naked. At the end, she collapsed as if she had been shot. The video was meant to be a statement about society's expectations and the pressure to conform, but many people didn't see it that way. Instead, they were outraged that she had chosen such a historically significant location to make her statement. Some felt it was disrespectful to JFK's memory, while others were just uncomfortable with the nudity. The controversy got so big that she ended up being fined $500 for disorderly conduct. Then, in 2014, she found herself in hot water again, this time for a performance. She had been invited to sing at the birthday party of King Mswati III, the ruler of Swaziland. But the problem? Mswati III was widely criticized for running an oppressive regime with serious human rights violations. The moment people found out she had performed for him, they called her out. When confronted, Badu claimed she didn't know about the political situation in Swaziland. She said she had performed as a favor to a friend and had no idea about the country's issues. But a lot of people didn't buy that excuse. Critics felt that, as an artist, she should have done her research before agreeing to perform for a leader with such a bad reputation. It wasn't just about the performance itself, it was about what it represented. To many, it seemed like she had put money over principles, and that was a hard pill to swallow for fans who had once seen her as a conscious, socially aware artist. Through all of these incidents, Badu has stayed unapologetic. She doesn't back down easily, and she doesn't seem to care much about what people think. But at the same time, these controversies have undoubtedly affected the way she's perceived. To some, she's still the same bold, free-spirited artist they've always loved. But to others, she's someone who constantly pushes the boundaries of what's acceptable. Sometimes in a way that's thought-provoking, and other times in a way that just feels reckless. So who is the real Erykah Badu? Is she the soulful, spiritual artist we all fell in love with? Or is there a darker side to her that has been overlooked for years? Her influence on the music industry is undeniable, but her relationships, controversies, and feuds paint a far more complicated picture. Whether she's misunderstood or hiding something, one thing is clear: Erykah Badu is not who we thought she was. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.